All right, so I couldn't wait no more for hair salons and nail salons to open. So I want to ask Premier Doug Ford a question. Now, when you say that you're closing hair salons and nail salons to do our toenails and to make ourselves clean and hygienic and all that stuff, because, it's difficult for us to do it ourselves. Now, when you decide to close all these different places, are you saying by someone getting down with a nail file and cutting all my toes and then taking a thing and scrubbing off all the things here that they do at nail salons, are you saying by them breathing on our toes that we are going to be able to catch corona? Well, why wouldn't you require that they just wear a mask in case they're going to breathe on your toes? Because it does not make any common sense why you'll be closing hair salons and nail salons. Let me ask you about the hair salon. Are you saying that the person is going to be breathing on the person's hair, so in turn the corona is going to go through the air? Mr. Ford, you have to explain this. Now, Mr. Ford, closing all these different businesses and seeing that we have to do things that we would rather pay someone else to do because we don't really have the time to do it, right? Isn't that why we do these things? So is it not a benefit to the general public? So tell us, Mr. Ford, why are hair salons, why are gyms, why are nail salons, why are they closed? Explain that. They have a door that they can close and they can control any environment. So it does not make any common sense. And why are you not focusing on those who are tested positive for corona? If corona is the issue, right, then is it not common sense, Mr. Ford, that when people are tested negative for corona, that you encourage them to get their family members tested? Have you done that? Then you're saying you're only allowed inside your immediate family. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Ford. You say you can also have groups of 5 people outside. So say I'm with a family and there's a family next door and the family down the hall. And a couple people from each family decide to get together outside. Have you tested each members of those family to see that they will not be contracting the virus and then taking it home to their family? Mr. Ford, you wonder why there's a rise in corona numbers because you're not using any common sense. Common sense, Doug. Common sense, common sense. You're not dealing with creating a crisis for small businesses. You're not dealing with creating a crisis for parents. You're not dealing with creating a crisis for teachers. You're not dealing with creating a crisis for disabled, those who are seniors, those who have gone through great ordeal and need medical treatment. Open your ears, Doug Ford. You say you are for the people, but Doug Ford, I am the people, and I am the man of the people, because I live the life of the people, and I listen to the people. Doug Ford, I slit my wrist. I slid it on a piece of glass, 10 stitches after being rushed to the hospital. Then I took extreme sick because I got a degenerative back disc in my back. I also have an eating disorder. I went to the hospital, Doug Ford, but I said, okay, maybe I can get a corona test at the same time. And allegedly, within 24 hours, you mysteriously come back with a corona test, and you're telling me that I was negative. So I was negative, but you sent me home. I went home, but I just got 10 stitches in my hands. And what do I find out? It wasn't bad enough I got the 10 stitches in my hands. My arms. I couldn't move my arms. It turns out that these medications that your hospital put in me, this is all for a backache. A backache. There is nothing there about a back x-ray. There's nothing there about an ultrasound. So why did I have to go through all these tests only to come out with you giving me a prescription that I wasn't eligible to receive and had to pay for? And not one person one doctor or nurse or medical professional contact me, a man who's on disability for a degenerative back disc, but yet was carried to the hospital for back problems, but yet there was no ultrasound, nothing done, no x-rays. All that was done was a bunch of needles shoved into his arms, and then you found out weeks later when you hardly can move your arm that they had missed your veins so much times. As you can see here from the intravenous drugs that was put in. And then there's another intravenous there. And you are medical professionals and you could not even hit a vein, but yet you could not even deal with an issue of a back problem. Mr. Ford, common sense. You cannot control and put all the people of the province on the one barrel and then dictate to them how to live their life and who to come in contact with and who to associate with. Your job as premier is to track to see if there is traces of the coronavirus in the province of Ontario and to isolate those people who have the virus, if the virus is a threat to the people, unless the virus might be just an illness like a flu, or it might be something like tuberculosis, or whatever things that we have gone through life continually. There is millions and millions of viruses, Mr. Ford. It is a disgrace that I just coughed. I just cough again. Are you going to say, Mr. Ford, oh, it's corona? Poor virus. Have you put all these labels on him for the sake of whatever is going through your mind, Doug? Remember, life is not all about science. Life is about living. And the people cannot live in the light because their premier is having them fight among themselves or fighting just to survive day by day. Mr. Ford, you don't have that authority. Telling someone, oh, well, take a look at that field. You can't be out there talking to your friends. You know, take a look at that size. You can't have no more than 10 people on that field. Oh, sorry, Mr. Ford says 5. I wonder, Mr. Ford, are you saying we can't play baseball? Mr. Ford, how much players are there on the baseball team? Are you telling us, Mr. Ford, we can't play soccer? Do you know how many players there is on a soccer team? Mr. Ford, are you telling us we can't even play hockey? Mr. Ford, I think you're playing tiddlywinks with yourself. The people have risen. And yes, the People's Political Party is here. We are here to make Ontario better and to build joy and happiness and address every single day issues, not addressing the fear-mongering dictatorship of the one they call Premier, Doug Ford. We believe in life. Do not threaten our lives with fear.